realize.
Alright, I think we are streaming, so just double checking.
Triple, quadruple your math.
Let's see here. La, da, da, da. We are streaming. Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar.
and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, anything we gather throughout the show, check the description under bar below, whatever it's called. I am, of course, Aoxander.
I am Senior Lunk.
And today is Freya's Day, also known as Friday, February 18th, 2022. Starting off in the year 1229, the Sixth Crusade, or during that crusade, the Frederick II, Holy Roman Emperor, signed a 10-year truce with Al-Kamal, regaining Jerusalem, Nazareth, and Bethlehem, with neither military engagements nor support from the papacy. So that's pretty cool. He did it all on his own.
Yeah, he didn't need no Pope for that shit.
Nope.
Fuck a Pope.
Fuck the Pope, at least.
Also, in 1263, the Battle of Weissenberg is fought between the Bavarian Order and the Vermont Diskov.
Was it 1263? Because my thing here says 1268.
1268.
Oh, okay. Just double checking, because I do mistakes too, so. Jumping on up to 1332, Amda Seyon, the first emperor of Ethiopia, began his campaigns in the southern Muslim provinces. So it sounds like Ethiopia was trying to expand.
Yep. Also, in 1478, George, Duke of Clarence, convicted of treason against his older brother Edward IV of England, is executed in private at the Tower of London.
Yeah, the Tower of London is apparently one of the most infamous prisons in all of history. I have to look into that. Simon Whistler, like infographics or mega projects, or one of his various shows, he does something about. He talks about the Tower of London, which I still got to see. So. But yeah, executed in private. So that's that means that he wasn't making him an example. He was just murdering a guy, pretty much.
Yep.
1637, during the 80 Years' War, a Spanish fleet located off the coast of Cornwall, England, intercepted an important Anglo-Dutch merchant convoy of 44 vessels, which had 6 warships and escort. The Spanish ultimately destroyed and or captured 20 of these ships. Oof. Spanish were a force back then.
Are definitely. Also, in 1735, the ballad opera called Flora or Hop in the Well went down in history as the first opera of any kind to be produced in North America, Charleston, South Carolina.
That's pretty cool.
Indeed it is.
Finally, we joined the ranks of culture. So.
Yep. Remember, when you listen to the music, always start on the Bach, never the Boosie.
Okay.
I got that from Family Guy.
I don't know what that means.
Always start on the back. No, always finish on the back, never the Boosie.
I don't get it.
It's a sex joke.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh.
start on the back, never the pussy.
Okay. I thought it was actually like music terms, like I'm uncultured as all hell.
Actually,
so
yeah, Bach is a musician.
well, I know that.
And Boosie is also a musician.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you ever have a song called Claire de Lune?
I think so.
Yeah, you've heard it before. It's just you wouldn't believe that it's that though.
Hmm. Well, interesting. Jumping out to 1781, during the Fourth Anglo-Dutch War, Captain Thomas Shirley opened his expedition against Dutch colonial outposts on the Gold Coast of Africa, which is present-day Ghana.
That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's nice. He was expedition against these Dutch. So this was like a this was during a war. So this was like a military operation. Jumping on up to 1791, Congress passed a law admitting the state of Vermont to the Union, effective March 4th. After that, state had existed for 14 years as a de facto independent, largely unrecognized state. So yeah. Before all the animosity between the North and the South, it actually took time for states to form. It's just like, well, they've been around for 14 years, so I might as well make them a state. Fuck it. Welcome to the Union, Vermont. Blah. Like...
Yeah, welcome to the Union, you cunts.
Hey, now, we're not Australians. We can't say that.
Yeah, they're like, oi, welcome to the Union, you pricks.
Oi! Welcome to the Union, you bloody palms.
Y'all bloody cunts.
Yeah, bloody cunts.
Okay, also 1814, Napoleonic Wars, Battle of Monteiro.
I assume that it occurred.
Yep, it occurred.
Yeah, it was fought during the War of the Sixth Coalition between an Imperial French army led by Emperor Napoleon and a corps of Austrians and Württembergers commanded by Crown Prince Frederick William of Württemberg. Interesting.
Yes.
Jumping on up to 1861, in Montgomery, Alabama, Jefferson Davis was inaugurated as the provisional president of the Confederate States of America. Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought he was inaugurated a couple days ago.
I have no idea.
Because, didn't we mention something, about on the same date that George Washington became president?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So that's confusing. I wonder if there's, a formal and informal, because poshness. What else happened in 1861?
Also in 1861, with the Italian unification nearly complete, Victor Emmanuel II of Piedmont, Savoy, and Sardinia assumed the title of King of Italy. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking King of Italy.
So apparently Italy dissolved into a bunch of nation states after the fall of the Roman Empire. I had no idea about that, but it makes sense. No Rome, no unification.
The Lord of Pasta.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's 17 years later in 1878. John Tunstall was murdered by outlaw Jesse Evans, sparking the Lincoln County War in Lincoln County, New Mexico. Huh.
Yeah. I didn't know they had Lincoln County in New Mexico.
Yeah, I thought that was in, or wait, what county is, it's Clark County in Las Vegas. So, I don't
Vegas.
know. Yeah.
They have Clark County in, Vegas, yeah. And Reno, I think.
Oh yeah, Reno's the capital of Nevada. What happened in 1885?
In 1885, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain is published in the United States, which is a stage name, his Mark Twain's stage name.
Yes.
His writer's name.
Yes, that's right. We figured that out the other day, or at least I did. His real name was Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Yeah, no one's gonna fucking want to read a book from that name. You would rather laugh at that fucking name.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a book from Samuel Langhorne.
Foghorn Leghorn.
No.
I said, boy, this book is a good read.
He was a fucking that's an annoying ass rooster.
I know, right? The chicken hawk should have taken him out.
No, I remember the dog hit him. No, it's the best of the cat hit him. Yelled, "Ah, shut up!" Popped him right in the mouth.
Jumping up another 15 years in 1900, during the Second Boer War, Imperial forces suffered their worst single-day loss of life on Bloody Sunday. Here we go, another Bloody Sunday. The first day of the Battle of Paardeberg. Um, so yeah, what's all these Bloody Sundays?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know, man. People die every day.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me see how much was lost anyway. Imperial forces. The Battle of Paardeberg. Let's see here. Casualties and losses. The United Kingdom and their allies lost 348 with 942 wounded. And then the Fredericks, which was... looks like it was, they were British too, so it might have been during the British Civil War. But no, it was during the Second Boer War, so that's weird. But they lost 350, with a 4,019 captured.
Damn.
Huh. Interesting. What do you tell us about what happens in 1906?
Sure. In 1906, Errol de Lafayette forms the Belgian Olympic Committee in Brussels.
Cool. So, more Olympic stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder how the Olympics are going now. Our Winter Olympics over in China. You know?
I can tell you, but I'm too lazy to get up and go to the toilet and flush.
Ha! Jumping on up to 1911, the first official flight with airmail took place from Allahabad, United Provinces, British India, which is now India, when Henry Pequet, a 23-year-old pilot, delivered 6,500 letters to Naini, about 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles away. Airmail!
Yes. Airmail is beautiful.
Yes. Dude, like, what was it, Ukraine? Was the first one to test missile mail? Or rocket mail or something? That's nuts.
Look, Comrade Munchkin is delivering mail. It is getting closer.
Special delivery! What happened 4 years after that, good sir?
Yeah. That's the question. 4 years after that, in 1915, a European campaign, the Imperial German Navy institutes unrestricted submarine warfare in the waters around Great Britain and Ireland.
So this must be during the First World War, or the Great War, the war to end all wars, the unrestricted submarine warfare. Those Germans, man, they liked being underwater. Yep. Jumping on up to 1930, while studying photographs taken in January, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. Hey!
That's cool.
Welcome to the club, Pluto. And then Pluto would go on to be ravaged by science mercilessly throughout the decades.
It did them raw.
It's a planet. It's not a planet. It's a microplanet. It's a protoplanet. It's a bloody planet.
It's a midget in the bikini.
Poor Pluto. Also in 1930, Elm Farm Ollie became the first cow to fly in a fixed-wing aircraft and also the first cow to be milked in an aircraft. And I wonder if those two events were one and the same. If they were flying while milking, I don't think that'd be possible. The cow would probably be very nervous, you know.
The cow got too lazy from jumping all over the moon, so yeah.
So that's how it does it nowadays.
Hey, I didn't like the landing part.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what we call grounded beef.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess when we're talking about cows and airplanes, the stakes are kind of high.
Yes, they are. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, God.
What? You got beef with my jokes?
Shit. Okay, in 1930,
Two.
while studying photographs taken in January, Clyde Thornball, oh yeah, we already did it. Or in
1932.
1932, the Empire of Japan creates the independent state of Manzhoudou, the obsolete China name for Manchuria, free from the Republic of China, and installed former Chinese Emperor Asen Goryeo as chief executive of the state.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's during the time where Japan was invading China.
Yep.
Jumping on up 6 years into 1938, during the Second Sino-Japanese War, which is war between China and Japan, during the Nanking Massacre, the Nanking Safety Zone International Committee was renamed Nanking International Rescue Committee, and the safety zone in place for refugees fell apart. Now, there's apparently a huge massacre there, which the Chinese, they don't have the documentation to back it up, so I don't know which side is right in this case. I mean, what Japan did to China during those times was, inhuman, but what China does just in general is inhuman. So, I don't know which side to stand on there. Both sides is horrible. So, jumping on up to 1942, during World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army began the systematic extermination of perceived hostile elements among the Chinese in Singapore. Well, what did I just say? Here we go. Like, Japan being Japan. So.
Yeah. Also, in
43.
yeah, right, 1943, World War II, Joseph Goebbels delivers his Sportspalast speech.
And the Sportpalast speech was a speech for total war delivered by German propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels at the Berlin Sportpalast to a large, carefully selected audience on February 18, 1943, as the tide of World War II was turning against Nazi Germany and its Axis allies. So it was like it was a pep rally, essentially, speech.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Also in 1943, also during World War II, the Nazis arrested the members of White Rose movements. What was the White Rose movements? We look at that real quick. And you know what? Anybody who wants to know more about this speech, I'm going to add this into the underbar in a minute here. But the White Rose movement, they were a post-punk / electro band from London. What? No, that doesn't seem right. What?
Yeah, that's what. No. There's an actual band called that, but I had to look it up. That movement is pretty much an anti-Nazi party.
Yeah, I have it here. Sophie Scholl and the White Rose. While less known to United States citizens, it's a powerful example of youthful resistance to the Nazi regime. So,
yeah. I had to look that up in the Britannia.
I gotta add these two links to the underbar here. Bloop, and I'll add this one here as well. Bloop. Alright. Jumping up to 1946. Sailors of the Royal Indian Navy mutiny in Bombay Harbor, from where the action spread throughout the provinces of British India, involved 78 ships, 20 shore establishments, and 20,000 sailors. That is one hell of a mutiny, as you said earlier today.
And it was one hell of a mutiny.
Yeah. That's less of a mutiny and more of a full-on coup d'etat. So
that's more like a fucking rebellion.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that is.
Shit, also in 1947, the First Indochina War, the French gained complete control of Hanoi after focusing the Viet Minh to withdraw to mountains.
Yeah, forcing the Viet Minh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But yeah, Yeah, just after World War II, the French are once again fighting. So, the United States isn't the only nation that's constantly at war with something. You know?
Francis have short man syndrome.
Yeah. Jumping up to 1954, the first Church of the Cult of Scientology was established in Los Angeles. Well, that explains everything. You started here, like everything else that's destroying the
Of
world.
course,
You know?
look at fucking Tom Cruise.
You mean the guy with the unitooth?
Yeah, like Tom Cruise, John Travolta. They're part of that fucking religion.
Speaking of John Travolta, I think his birthday is today.
Really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, if you look at my stream here, I have he has a center tooth. If you draw a line straight down the center of his face, he doesn't have two front teeth. He has one unitooth in the front.
No, they're united. They're more united than Korea.
Well, this is why he's always at an angle in the camera. Like, they never show him face directly at the camera, ever. And if they did, they probably, like, post-production edited his teeth or something.
Yep.
365 days later, in 1955, during Operation Teapot, the Teapot test shot Wasp was successfully detonated at the Nevada test site with a yield of 1.2 kilotons. Wasp
Yeah, I shared the link of that. That's just crazy.
In what channel again?
Michaelis, I think.
Michaelis. Let me see here. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, I will put that in the underbar as well. We can get rid of Tom Cruise's unitooth. But yeah, Wasp was the first of 14 shots in the Teapot series. And a link to that is being posted in the underbar right now. Operation Teapot, save. Alright. Mr. Lunk, why don't you tell us what happened 2 years after that?
2 years, 1957, Kenyan rebel leader Dedan Kimathi is executed by the British colonial government.
Hey. All he wanted was some freedom, like William Wallace. The British just murdering everybody out there.
Freedom to die.
Yep. Well, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. So, why don't you take this next one? Close out 57 here for us.
Also in 1957, Walter James Bolton becomes the last person legally executed in New Zealand.
Legally?
So not wait. Legally.
Legally. Well, I guess, like, you know, if you take murder as a form of execution, then yeah. Well, that's what execution is legal murder. So it's not one way, it's the other, depending on perspective. But yeah, no, that's a long time ago. So New Zealand hasn't, at least their government hasn't killed any prisoners that we know of since then. Jumping up to 1965, the Gambia became independent from the United Kingdom. Speaking of becoming independent from those crazy fascist overlords.
Yeah.
The Gambia.
Also, in 1970, the Chicago Seven are found not guilty of conspiracy to incite riots at the 1968 Democratic National Convention.
Oh, here we go again with these liberals and their false flags. Even back then, they were trying this shit. Back then, people were a lot more intelligent. But they fixed that by infiltrating our schools and generation after generation dumbing down the youth. Until now today, people need fidget spinners and shit. You know, like... Speaking of stupid things, 2 years later, in 1972, the California Supreme Court, in the case of the People versus Anderson, invalidated the state's death penalty and commuted the sentence of all death row inmates to life imprisonment. So yeah, instead of you know, killing people, relieving them of their earthly duties, we prolong their existence on taxpayer dollar, of course.
Well,
so
in a way it's good, in a way it's not good. Well, the way it's good, just in case they accidentally, you know, execute an innocent person.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, there's always that, but I mean, when there's like evidence and they've admitted it and like there's no
I
real
know.
reason other than morals to keep them around, then off the bitch. Stop feeding them, stop flushing his toilets. Like get rid of him. You know, at a certain
Like
point, a lost cause is obviously a lost cause. So
like Scott Peterson
who
in
is that again?
California. He killed his wife, Lacey Peterson, and their unborn child. He's in San Quentin.
Okay, yeah,
He
he needs
was
to go.
he was on the death row. He was in death row, but they fucking changed his shit to life in prison.
Just so stupid.
Yeah,
At least Texas, for all of its flaws, at least they get something right. You kill somebody over there, they'll kill you right back. They don't fuck around. So
that's, and that's another thing. With California, y'all had one of the most notorious serial killers in prison. He was supposed to be on death row, but they kept on postponing it, and the dude eventually died of cancer.
well, we weren't doing anything, so God had to step in somehow.
Yep.
You know. Jumping on up to 1977, the Space Shuttle Enterprise test vehicle was carried on its maiden flight on top of a Boeing 747, and yet they charge us when our luggage is a pound overweight. You can carry a bloody space shuttle, really? You know,
You carry a fucking shuttle.
ridiculous. But what happened 6 years later?
In 1983, 13 people died and one is seriously injured in the Wami massacre in Seattle. It is said to be the largest robbery-motivated mass murder in U.S. history.
So something went wrong.
Or something was staged to look like it. No one knows.
Yeah, nowadays you never know. What's a false flag for pushing of gun control? Because an armed populace
But that's
doesn't.
like 19. But then again, that's 1983. So
Well, keep in mind the liberals. This is Seattle too. Seattle was one of the first ones to fall during all this crazy stuff since 2016. So, but I mean, see, like everybody is always wondering, oh, why is the left always pushing for gun control? Because an armed populace doesn't willingly walk into the boxcars. Why do you think Australia got to the way it was? Because guns are not allowed. Guns are illegal. Jumping on up to 1991, the IRA exploded a bomb in the early morning at Paddington Station and Victoria Station in London. So it exploded multiple bombs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also in 2001, FBI agent Robert Hansen is arrested for spying for the Soviet Union. He is ultimately convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment.
He should be executed.
That should be grounds for treason.
That's a crime against humanity. Leaking nuclear secrets like that.
Well, yeah, it's like treason.
Yep. Well, it doesn't say nuclear secrets, but I mean,
Secret
whatever
still,
else
secret still.
it is still treasonous. Also in 2001, the Sandpig conflict occurred in which inter-ethnic violence between Dayaks and Madaris broke out in Sampit, central Kalimantan, Indonesia, ultimately resulting in more than 500 deaths and 100,000 Madaris displaced from their homes. That's horrible.
It is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yep. Also in 2001, NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt died from an accident on the final lap of the Daytona 500.
That's horrible, man.
Yeah, that sucks. So he died before he entered high school.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was a big name in NASCAR.
Yeah.
I don't even follow the sport. I know his name.
I cared less about NASCAR then than I do now, and nothing's changed. But no, even I knew that name. Like when I know names, then they've done great things. And when I heard about his death, yeah, that was crazy. I actually had a friend at the time. who said that he was like cousins with Dale Earnhardt or something because his last name was Earnhardt, and I think he was full of shit. But whatever,
Yep.
you know. But moving on up to 2003, nearly 200 people perished in the Daegu subway fire in South Korea. That sucks. Dying in a
Yes,
subway
it
fire.
is.
What happened 365 days later?
1 year later, 2004, up to 295 people, including nearly 200 rescue workers, died near Nispur, Iran, when a runaway freight train carrying sulfur, petrol, and fertilizer catches fire and explodes. Oh my god, it's like a runaway bomb!
Jesus Christ.
That's literally a fucking runaway
That's
bomb right
literally
there.
a bomb. Oh my god. Wow.
That's like a fucking missile.
Special delivery.
Yeah, it's a fucking special. That is one weird ass delivery.
Yeah. That's something that you want to stay on track. So, jumping on up to 2007, Sam Jahata Express bombings occurred around midnight in Diawana near the Indian city of Panipat, which is 80 kilometers or 50 miles north of New Delhi in India. Now, how many people perished in that? Let's see here. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see here. 70. 70 people died and there are 50 additional injuries. That's a tragedy.
It is. Definitely.
Ooh, you get a good one.
Let's see. And in 2007 or 2010, WikiLeaks published its first of hundreds of thousands of classified documents disclosed by the soldier now known as Chelsea Manning.
Nice. Good on you, Chelsea Manning. Like, a lot of people would argue, you know, oh, blah, 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 you know, that's a danger to national security. No, it's not. You know,
But yeah,
like,
here the thing is, they demonized her, but yet they celebrated Snowden.
well, majority of people, like, they still hate, you know, the government hates Snowden.
Yeah.
Snowden's a hero
And
to humanity.
the government's the reason why he's still in the, I think, Russia?
Yeah. He's in Russia with political asylum. Jumping on up to 2013, armed robbers steal a haul of diamonds worth $50 million during a raid at Brussels airport in Belgium. It's a lot of diamonds.
That is. Of course.
Yeah. And I've said this before multiple times, but in case anybody hasn't heard this before, diamonds are one of the most abundant resources on this earth. It's literally just compressed carbon, you know? And you, like, look into the whole De Beers, you know, plot, you know, about how, like, you know, like even the whole thing about engagement rings, that is all commercialism, you know, and society bought it hook, line, and sinker. 365 days later, in 2014, at least 76 people were killed and hundreds were injured in clashes between riot police and demonstrators in Kyiv, Ukraine.
Damn.
People dying every day.
Yep.
Not from natural causes either. Why don't you close us out for this section, Mr. Lunk?
I will. And 2021, reservations a Mars rover to zero crater on Mars as part of the NASA Mars 2020 mission lands successfully.
Nice. Yeah, Perseverance.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, before we get into the burst and decks here, any articles, you know, reach out and grab you?
The fucking bomb. Or the train.
Oh, the train bomb. Yeah, that is interesting. Um, I'm what I usually do is I go to the very beginning and I try to see like the most important sounding thing, you know, um, like the Sixth Crusade thing, the 10-year truce and they gained Bethlehem, Nazareth, and Jerusalem. So that's pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, no, like that train bomb, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that again. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, the Vermont thing. I'm thinking about naming this video. It's a train. It's a bomb. No, it's Vermont. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yo, funny.
Let's jump into bursts here. Starting off in the year 1201, Nazir al-Din al-Tusi, a Persian scientist and writer. Then, what is that, 408 years later, 1609, Edward Hyde, the first Earl of Clarendon, an English historian and politician who was a Chancellor of the Exchequer. Exchequer? I don't know how to pronounce that. Then we jump into 1745. We have Alessandro Volta, the Italian physicist who invented the battery. So, anything involving,
Awesome.
like here, like a couple batteries right here for my vape. Thank you, Mr. Volta. Which, perfect last name. That's probably where volts come from. 1848. We have Louis Comfort Tiffany, U.S. stained glass artist, and
That's awesome.
And yeah, like let's see here, Tiffany glass. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, because like I remember it being a household name for a bit. Like like oh, that's a Tiffany lamp. Like so here we go. Like, he did stained glasses, but he also did lamps and everything. And I think we actually have like a stained glass lamp downstairs. Jumping on up to 1862, we have Charles M. Schwab, U.S. businessman who co-founded Bethlehem Steel. I would have thought he'd start Charles Schwab, but maybe he did. I don't know. 1898.
Maybe.
What?
He maybe did. Ooh.
You know what? I can look this up real quick. Who started Charles Schwab? Charles R. Schwab. And this is Charles M. Schwab. So we have two Charles Schwabs just out here schwabbing it out, making businesses and shit. We have 1898, Luis Munoz Marin, a Puerto Rican poet and politician who was the first governor of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. 1906, we have Hans Asperger, Australian pediatrician and academic. Now, who is Asperger's syndrome named? Let's see here. Named from. Doctor behind Asperger's syndrome subject to name change. Okay, so, okay, yeah, it says here names after Hans Asperger, which, yeah, it's this guy. So, yeah. In 1914, we have Pee Wee King, a U.S. singer, songwriter, and fiddler. 1920, we have Roland Falcinelli, a French organist, pianist, composer, and pedagogue. What is a pedagogue?
Sounds wrong.
But it's a teacher, especially a strict or pedantic one. So I think I remember looking that up not too long ago, because that definition seems familiar. 1922, we have Eric Gairy, a Granadan politician who was the first Prime Minister of Grenada.
Nice.
1931, Johnny Hart, a U.S. cartoonist who co-created The Wizard of Id. Then in 1933, we have Yoko Ono, a Japanese U.S. multimedia artist and musician, if you want to call her that.
There ain't no fucking musician.
Wasn't she like recently just screaming orgasm noises into a microphone in some
Pretty much.
event?
It sounded like sex.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have 1954, John Travolta. That's a name I haven't heard in a while, other than earlier in the show. A U.S. actor, singer, and producer. Apparently also a Scientologist.
And a retard.
Yeah. Des, your turn.
Yes. And then next we have 675. We have Bishop of
You're breaking up really bad.
and 675. We have Coleman,
Okay.
Bishop of Lindenshire.
There we go. That's better.
Yep. And in 1478 we have George Planta Guest, first Duke of Clarence, English nobleman. And then oh shit, oh never mind, it's not who I think it was. My God, here I go. In 1546 is Martin Luther, German priest and theologian, who was the first leader of the Protestant Reform.
He was a German priest and theologian who was the leader of the Protestant Reformation.
Yeah.
He was also
And then
excommunicated and all that shit.
yeah. Also in 1564 we have Michelangelo, Italian sculptor and painter. Has nothing to do with the Ninja Turtle, even though it's inspired. The name is inspired by it.
Yep. Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael.
Raphael. Yep.
And then Splinter.
Also in 1654 we have John Louis Guess de Balzac, French author. Was he nuts? I have no idea.
But he's got to have a hefty pair to have that name, you know.
Yep. Or his family had to be, completely bold with that name.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like 4 years later, 1654, we have John Villiers, first Viscount of Purbeck. I said Viscount like Dragon Age.
Viscount.
Yeah. Also, in 1748, we have Otto Ferdinand von Ansberg, English courtier.
No.
No, I'm not. I mean, Austrian field marshal. He's an Austrian field marshal.
Yeah. You want me to take a couple for you?
Yeah.
1772, we have Count Johann Hartwig Ernst von Bernstorff, a Danish politician. 1873, we have Vasil Levski, a Bulgarian activist who founded the International Revolutionary Organization, or the Internal Revolutionary Organization. Which, let me look that up real quick. There we go. Internal Revolutionary Organization. Or IRO was a Bulgarian revolutionary organization founded and built up by Bulgarian... Okay, that's not telling me anything that I already don't know. But, okay. Well, if anybody wants to know more about this, I'm going to post this in the underbar. 1893, we have Serenus Clinton Hastings, a U.S. lawyer and politician who was the first Chief Justice of California.
Cool and not cool at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm fucking joking. That's still cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do this one. Also in 1902, we have Charles Lewis Tiffany, the U.S. businessman who founded Tiffany and Company. Yeah, we just talked about him.
Yeah. Wasn't he born a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Huh.
Also in 1982, Jack Northrop was a businessman who founded the Northrop Corporation.
And why does that sound familiar?
I have no idea.
Well, let's see here.
I know Sullivan Northrop, but that's somebody else.
It's Northrop Grumman now. Is a U.S. multinational aerospace and defense technology company with 90,000 employees and an annual revenue in excess of $30 billion. It is one of the world's largest weapons manufacturers and military technology providers. So dang, this guy died on this date, 1981, and his legacy would go on to be that. That's intense.
Yeah. Also, in 2001, we have Dale Earnhardt, U.S. racist and seven-time NASCAR champion.
Yeah, that's what a race car driver is called, right? A racist? Like, or do I have the
Just
word
put
wrong?
race. You have it wrong, man. It's
Oh,
racist.
oh, racer. I'm sorry, a racer. I, I get the terminology confused. You know, I mean, like,
Yeah, the clan were race car drivers.
gives White Hood a whole new meaning.
Oh
You know,
God.
because the hood of a car. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get canceled, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links that you may be interested in. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream every day. The time is still in the air until, people, including myself, get stuff together. As I said, there's a lot of things happening in the background, and I'm hoping to start a new project maybe tomorrow, actually. That'd be interesting. But anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am Senior Lunk.
And speaking of you, Lunk, is there something you want to talk about?
Yeah, if you want to see gaming, follow me on Twitch.
The link is
On SohanTV.com.
the link is of course in the underbar or description or wherever the information about the video is held. Anyway, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until tomorrow, you'll see us then. Toodles, let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, let's go, Senior Brandon.